the negative neurochemicals that you don't want to see are cortisol and CRF. Okay, and these are chemicals that the brain produces when we're under stress, and they in the brain of the addict they begin the craving cycle to start. So remember, in the brain of the addict, we're dealing with stress. Well, by doing these binaural brain entrainment meditation, the data shows that these stress-related negative chemicals are way decreased. So you're improving the positive ones, and you're decreasing the negative ones. So it's really taking on the disease of addiction where it lives in the human brain, at the locus. Fantastic. And of course, we don't stop there. We use exercise, which also positively, anybody who's maintained a good exercise practice for a while, you know how you start just general well-being and you start feeling better. Well, we do that also. We supplement with omega-3s and fish oils or flaxseed oil if you're vegetarian, and these different things that also support the rebuilding of the brain. But this happens very, very quickly. So it's really good that people begin to feel better very quickly, because if not, you tend to relapse. If it takes years, you know, for you to stabilize your brain chemistry, which eventually it will do at some degree on its own, but usually it takes so long and there's so much suffering associated with that period that people tend to relapse chronically. You know, then you have to start all over again. So, also, what seems to happen is when you're using this binaural brain entrainment meditation is that normally people are, if you take pictures of anybody's, you know, normal person, man on the street brain, woman on the street's brain, you see that they tend to be dominant left or right brain. Okay, left brain people tend to be more analytical, more out there, more getting things done in the exterior world, and right brain people tend to be more relational, more interior, more creative, spiritual, if you will. Okay, so there's kind of a split in our two brains, and some neuroscientists actually say we have two brains, it's not just one. But through this brain entrainment, both sides begin to function equally, in tandem. So this creates a huge, and so this creates a huge shift in consciousness. So the metaphor that I like to use is you've been walking around with only one eyeball your whole life, a hand over your eye, and all of a sudden you remove it, and you go, oh my God, there's a whole new depth. So you can have that creative, intuitive, interior, spiritual thing, as well as the logical, analytical, agentic, getting things done in the exterior world, and you bring it together, and it's a brilliant, well, and just as in Chinese philosophy, yin and yang, the receptive and the out there, the masculine, comes together, and that's also reflected in the brain, negative, positive. So it's extraordinary, and it's been around for a long time, and Bill Harris's particular company, I don't know, like over 400,000 people have used it since the 1980s or something like that, and there's many other versions of it out there that also work well. But Bill has just developed a really great product, and he gives lots of supporting information and counselors 5 days a week. You can call if you're starting to go into one of these chaos phases, because if you don't know what you're doing, it can get really scary. But after you've gone through about 9 or 10 or 15 of these reorganizations at higher levels, it starts coming on. Part of you still kind of goes, oh no, but another party goes, yes, here we go, getting ready to reorganize, man. It's going to be better. I'm going to be happier and smarter and more capable, and I'm letting go of a lot of stuff that's been festering in my unconscious for a long time. So it really helps, especially with some training, which I'll talk about later, specific techniques we use to deal with traumatic repressed material, PTSD.